Under it, almost too quiet to hear, an old woman whispered something in a language none of them understood. Me began to pray under her breath. The kitchen faucet shut off by itself, and every open cabinet slammed at once. Crystal screamed. The next morning, Pow inspected everything. He checked the cabinets. He checked the pipes. He checked the toilet. He climbed into the attic and found nothing but insulation, mouse droppings, and old heat. He came down with dust in his hair and scratches on his arms. "There's no one here," he said. Me looked at him quietly. "I know." "Then why are you looking at me like that?" "Because I believe you." Pow did not want belief. Belief meant the problem had no tool, no manual, no number to call. He wanted a loose pipe, a raccoon, bad wiring, something with a bill and an answer. For the first week, they pretended. That is what families do when fear is too expensive. They unpacked boxes. They enrolled Angie and Scott in school. Me cleaned every room with hot water and vinegar. Pow started work at a warehouse 40 minutes away. Crystal followed me from room to room, dragging her stuffed rabbit by one ear. For a little while, the house almost behaved. In the mornings, sunlight filled the kitchen. In the afternoons, the porch felt warm. Pow fixed a loose railing. Me lined the cabinets with paper. Angie taped pictures above her bed. Scott arranged his toy cars along the windowsill. Crystal named every corner of the house as if naming it made it safe. But every night, the house reminded them it was awake. At first, it was small. A knock behind the refrigerator. A whisper from the laundry room. The smell of wet soil in the hallway. The porch swing moving when there was no wind. Dishes rearranged in the cabinets. A line of muddy footprints appearing from the basement door to Angie's room. Each print small, narrow, and barefoot. Angie blamed Scott. "You're not funny," she snapped. "I didn't do it," Scott said. "Then why do they stop at my door?" Scott looked at the footprints, then down the hallway. "Because she likes you." Angie's face changed. "Ooh." The lady under the house. Meat dropped the cup she was holding. It shattered across the kitchen tile. Pow rushed in. "What happened?" Me ignored the broken glass. "Scott, what did you say?" Scott looked frightened, not because of the broken cup, but because he knew he had said too much. "She said Angie is almost the right age." Nobody moved. The refrigerator hummed. Outside, a dog barked once and went silent. Pow crouched in front of Scott. "Who said that?" "The lady." "Where did you see her?" "I don't see her anymore." Me's voice was barely above a whisper. "Then how do you know?" Scott looked toward the floor vent. "Because she talks through there." That night, Pow bought 3 night lights and a pack of cheap motion cameras from a store in town. He installed one in the kitchen, one in the hallway, one facing the stairs. At 3:04 a.m., the kitchen camera detected motion. The footage showed the refrigerator door opening by itself. A carton of milk slid forward. Then a bowl. Then a knife block turned slowly on the counter until all the handles faced the hallway. At 3:07, the hallway camera turned black. At 3:08, the stair camera captured Angie standing halfway down the steps. Her hair hung over her face. Her nightgown was damp at the bottom, as if she had walked through water. She stared toward the living room. In her arms, she held Crystal's stuffed rabbit. Pow watched the footage the next morning with his hands clenched on the table. "She was asleep," he said. "Maybe she sleepwalked." "She has never sleepwalked." People stared. "Pow." He stared at the frozen image of Angie on the stairs. "What do you want me to say?" "That there is a dead woman in our house." The lights flickered. Once, twice. The kitchen cabinet above Pow opened. A single glass rolled out. It fell. Pow caught it inches from the floor. For 1 second, nobody breathed. Then, from the baby monitor Me had kept from when Crystal was younger, a voice crackled through. They had not plugged it in. It was Angie's voice. "Dad, why did you bring us here?" Angie was upstairs. Me ran first. Pow followed. They found Angie asleep in bed, face dry, breathing normal. Crystal's stuffed rabbit sat beside her pillow. But on the wall above Angie's bed, written in wet brown dirt, were 4 words. "She can hear me." The first police call happened the following Tuesday. How to not want to make it? He stood in the kitchen at 11:46 p.m., phone in his hand, watching the basement door shake in its frame. Something on the other side was hitting it. Not knocking, hitting hard.